Welcome to this week's edition of Under the Golden Dome. Once again, I'm not actually under the Golden Dome. We have this saying as lobbyists at the Capitol that Thursday is always considered a legislative Friday because the legislature doesn't work on Friday. Well, now that we're we're getting close to the end of session and work is slowing down, now Wednesday is turning out to be legislative Friday, which is great, except that we are not at the end of session. As a reminder, the statutory deadline, the day in which they stop receiving their per diem and clerks stop receiving their pay, is April 19th. There's no way we're going to meet that deadline. At this point, the House is on call for next week. They have passed all of their budget bills with the exception of the standing appropriations bill, which is usually the last one out the door anyway, over to the Senate. The Senate has started to put together their budget bills, but has taken no action on them. So without a budget agreement, there's not a lot of work to be done. There are some policy issues that are left out there, but they're really holding those back until they bring members back to finish up the work that ends the legislative session so that they have things to do while they wait for the budget to bounce back and forth and those deals to be negotiated. We don't anticipate a very busy week next week either. The Senate, which has generally only been working Tuesdays and Wednesdays anyway, is only working Tuesday and probably Wednesday next week to work on their budget bills and the gubernatorial confirmations that they need to vote on the Senate floor. So that probably leaves you wondering, where does everything stand? And I'm guessing that the question that you all have at the top of your mind is, what's the status of the voucher proposal? As you recall from last week, the Senate has passed the larger governor's bill, which included educational scholarships, vouchers, call it what you want, over to the House. And that bill was referred to the House Appropriations Committee. The House Republicans have been meeting. They have been talking. There are a lot of different ideas and compromises floating around. But the bottom line is we still have a pretty strong hold that makes it almost impossible for them to get to 51. And I say almost impossible because we are losing a little bit of ground, not much. But the governor has made it very, very clear that this is a priority. She will not let them get out of town without doing something on vouchers. And so we are very cautiously watching to see what kinds of things can be thrown out to help convince enough of those no votes in the House to reach 51. At this point, we're holding firm, but it's something that I would ask of all of you. If you have a House Republican member who has told you they are a no vote on vouchers, touch base with them, remind them that a pilot project or a scaled back version doesn't really, it's the camel's nose in the tent. And that every state we've looked at that started really targeted and small has very quickly expanded into full-blown vouchers for all students. So just touch base, ask them where they stand. If you get any feedback that suggests that they might be wavering, please let us know so that we can also have conversations with them. As we take a look at the other outstanding issues, we still have to resolve differences between the House and the Senate on transparency. The House took a more prescriptive approach on transparency. The Senate took more of a, these are rights that parents have and boards need to ensure that those rights are met. They need to work out those differences. We're still working out some differences on teacher recruitment and retention and streamlined pathways for alternative licensure. And then, of course, there's the education budget, which includes a number of items that we are trying to work out differences as well between the House and the Senate. This will likely be your last Under the Golden Dome taping until we get to the end of session, and we'll do an end of session podcast to catch you up on all of the happenings. And for further information about where the bills stand and what's happening, take a look at our webpage, go to our advocacy page, and you can get the most up-to-date information. We will keep that updated as things happen, but I don't anticipate a lot of action happening in the next week or two. So with that, keep focused and keep talking to your legislators, and thank you very much for all the advocacy you've done all session long.